What's going on, everyone? This is Jewnbug, coach of the Maine Red Clawitzers, here bringing you the Week 2 PUL Season 2 match against Jamezy and the Crystal Palkia. Um, Looking at the two teams here, his Uber 1 pick was Faramosa to my Arceus Steel. Get a sense of his team here. Pretty good amount of threats to my team, a lot of scary potential Scarf users. Um, but also some mons that I think I have a pretty good advantage against. Couple flying weaknesses and fire weaknesses that I think I can take advantage of with my team builder. So let's take a look at my team. We have the Gren, Scarf Gren, Gracium Z Arcanine, Calm Mind Recover, 2 moves Arceus Steel, and then yeah, well, let's just go through individually, take a look at them. So the Scarf Gren here, U-turn obviously for some pivoting. This was set to outspeed a Scarfed Naganadel. I never know how to pronounce that. Right here, could hit it with an extra sensory if it's in on me and thinks it can outspeed me for whatever reason, even though my max speed is higher. U-turn is, pretty safe move to click with a Scarf user, especially if he doesn't have hazards up. And then Scald and Dark Pulse just for general stab moves when I don't necessarily know what's going to happen. The Aethon, another kind of defensive set. I found out that I could one-hit kill a double max HP, max special defense, positive nature, Gastrodon, even with a minus nature on my special attack with Z Solar Beam. So I'm bringing that for his Gastrodon, which actually gives my team pretty good amount of problems. Gastrodon is very underrated. I think defensively, it's it's just Quagsire, but with a little bit more balanced stats and uh, dual special stab, which is nice. But anyways, set to outspeed. Oof. Maybe non-boosted nature. Porygon? I don't really know. Clearly I wanted to give it speed for something, but do not know what that is. The Colossus, again, was hoping for this to be my win con. Max physical bulk to take care of those potential threats. The Pheromosa with high jump kick. I actually don't think I have a chance, if I remember correctly, to even live that. So unless it was like not max attack or something, or a special set, or maybe a low kick set. I'm not sure if I lived that either, but regardless, to handle the Kartana as well, as you can see here, I actually just outspeed the Kartana, just unable to with a non without a plus nature, so I had to go with Timid here. Ice Beam and Judgment. This pretty much hits his whole team, with the exception of Gastrodon and I guess Simisear, but wasn't too worried about Simisear. But yeah, so that's where I was thinking, okay, I can hit everything except the Gastrodon, even if Pheromosa or Scarf Kartana or, just regular Breloom scare me a bit. So I can hit everything pretty hard with these two moves if I can maybe get a Calm Mind up after I've threatened out that Pheromosa with one of my Scarf Greninja or something like that. Because, yeah, obviously the Scarf Gren can hit Pheromosa with an extra sensory and knock it out. Next up, we have Robocop, the Assault Vest Magnezone. Pretty decent Naganadel check. Give it a lot of bulk. And a pretty solid amount of special attack as well, just so it could stick around for a while. The HP Grass, going to do a good chunk to that Gastrodon if it tries to switch in on me, which otherwise it would have a safe switch in. And I'm guessing you might suspect the HP Fire for the Kartana, maybe a Magnet Pole Sturdy set or something like that. Volt Switch for momentum, and then as I said, if he switches in Gastrodon, his ground type, I can just pop off an HP Grass and put that thing at a low range. Next, Lovina, the Mega Venusaur. This thing was actually really important. Um, I gave it HP Fire for the pretty much exclusively for the Kartana, because obviously it has Psycho Cut, so it can threaten me. Sludge Bomb is just a strong stab move. It hits most of the team pretty well. Giga Drain, again, another stab recovery move, but especially huge for that Gastrodon. Couldn't go without it. And then Leech Seed to, maybe not, it's not exactly momentum, but it sort of eases the blow of you, switching in and taking some damage. So if I pop a Leech Seed off, then he switches into Gardevoir, and that thing with a Max Modest Psychic can take me out. So, you know, if I pop off a Leech Seed and then switch into something like the Robocop or the Sunan, that's going to ease the switch in a little bit. And then finally, I went with a double Scarf team and a Togekiss that I set to outspeed the Naganadel, and don't do that. Well, we'll get to that. Air Slash just hits pretty much everything. Well, obviously, Grass Knot, as you'll see, a lot of grass coverage needed to deal with that Gastrodon. That thing was a pain, even though I had, a grass bulky Mega that could absorb Toxics. I still just was worried about this thing. And Psychic for the Naganadel to hit it super effectively, but most likely Air Slash and going for some Serene Grace Paraflinches. So let's go to the battle and see how things went. So we can see his team here. Of course, the Gastrodon, the Druddigon coming. That thing can do a bunch of rocks, phase people. So I'm a little bit worried about what that's going to do. It's going to be a hard to one-hit kill it because my team's kind of bulky offensive. His two biggest threats right here, in my opinion, the Kartana and the Pheromosa, and the Naganadel as well. Pretty scary, but I'm thinking, okay, I can probably take care of that. The Mega Guard as well. Scary, but I can go against it with some of my Scarf users, and especially Arceus Steel. So I send out my Lovina to lead because I think, what in here other than Mega Guard really threatens it immediately. And I see the Kartana, and this is going to be a theme that Jamezy makes some really good defensive plays here just to sort of scout out my set, because I talked to him after and he said he was very scared of the Mega Venu. So switches in Gastrodon, not the typical Mega Venu switch in. And so I reveal my HP Fire. And then the double switch, very ballsy play, but just reads me perfectly for the Leech Seed. So now maybe he's thinking I don't have a grass, like a Giga Drain type move or something like that. Or I may have revealed myself to, what importantly, I don't have Synthesis, which once he finds that out, he's able to take advantage of. So HP Fire does next to nothing. Another switch. So turn 4, he hasn't attacked once yet. Now I know this thing gets Earthquake, so I'm like, okay, let me get out of here. He switches again to Gastrodon. Oh man, that's going fast. Let's go slow. So yeah, so I know this thing has EQ, so I'm getting out of here. Figure if he goes EQ, I have the immunity. And now I have my rock in here, so I think, okay, Air Slash is pretty safe, but Grass Knot could do a, really solid amount to this Gastrodon. Turn 5, he hasn't attacked once, but he's just got a lot of information on my sets, and I've done like 0 damage to him. So into the guard he goes, and I do the dry baton pass. Oh, excuse me, just because okay, that makes sense. Because I've been seeing he's just been constantly switching. I figure, okay, I can actually get some momentum here. Haven't revealed my Scarf there. So now I figure, okay, I can fire off a Calm Mind, I can fire off a Judgment, but here I make one of probably my big misplays. I go for a Calm Mind. Now, I don't know what was going on in my head. If he switches in the Pheromosa, which would be ballsy, but he's done a lot of, he's done like 7 straight switches. If he goes in the Pheromosa, that could probably one-hit kill me. If he goes to the Scarf Kartana, that has a chance to one-hit kill me with a Scarf Adamant Sacred Sword. And yeah, as we find out with Druddigon, even with +1, I'm not going to one-hit kill. So you know, what am I doing? I don't really know. So Ice Beam comes out, doesn't kill, and Glare. And boom, this thing is crippled, and it's not going to outspeed some of the things such as the Mega Gardevoir or the potential non-Scarf Kartana that I needed it to, which is a huge bummer. Then full para comes and rocks come up. That is a bummer, but not a huge factor. So then I get the judgment off, and okay, I get a kill. Whatever. Druddigon gone, but it's done its job. And he knows I probably don't have any hazard removal. So I switch out my +1/+1 Arceus to the Arcanine, get the Intimidate off. High Jump Kick comes out, and I actually managed to live that. And then he switches out instead of going for it again, perhaps fearing the E-Speed, or perhaps he was choice and didn't think it was worth it. So I'm able to get some health back up, and he switches in the Gastrodon. So I think, okay, I'm a little bit behind here. Aethon is not doing very well, and in the past I've had trouble getting off my Z moves. So I figure, okay, we're gonna, you know, pull the trigger on this. But he scouts very wisely and goes into Gardevoir. And this is not going to do very much because I was, you know, a minus nature. I actually did more than I would have thought, especially to a Mega Guard with that decent special bulk. So he sets up on me, and I'm actually able to take advantage of that with a Bulldoze. Bulldoze had a decent chance to 2-hit kill, so he switches back out into his Gastrodon. Now he knows, okay, this thing's played its one trick to try to counter me, and it can't do it again. So he knows he's safe. So I'm Morning Sun just to see what he wants to do against me. He shows the Scald, does more than 50. So I'm like, okay, this is a tough spot to be in. So I switch in my Lovina, pretty much hard counters this thing. He goes for Earth Power, does about a quarter. This is probably where something like Synthesis would have been nice, but I go for the Leech Seed, expecting the switch, able to get some damage off, and this, I make another, you know what though, I don't know if I made a bad play. I think Jamezy just made a great play here. Predicting the Dark Switch in, he goes for the Hyper Voice Fairy move. Now that would not have done very much to my Lovina, but I figured I could get in the immunity, take the Leech Seed damage back to recover from the rocks damage, and then you turn out safely and guarantee a kill. So now I end up with the Robocop in, and because I'm slower, obviously I'm unsure of what's going to happen. But I figure, okay, HP Grass will kill the Gardevoir, and it won't reveal which hidden power it is, therefore leaving him uncertain as to if I'm bringing it for the Kartana or for the Gastrodon. But I'm able to get the HP Grass off here. And that, as we can see, that puts him in range of another HP Grass. So I am almost certain he's not going to stay in here. So I go for the read, and I click Volt Switch, and I'm sort of learning how he's playing. He's going to be doing a lot of switching, and I get a decent Volt Switch off. Now here is another problem. So right now, I've sort of clawed my way back into this a little bit, and I'm thinking, okay, I have my Scarf Togekiss, and Air Slash. I'm modest and decent investment, so Air Slash is guaranteed to kill a non-bulk variant. Any bulk, and it has a chance to kill, unless it's like super significant. But I know he's pretty fast, so so I'm thinking, okay, I'm Scarfed specifically to outspeed this thing by 1, and I'll just click Air Slash. And unless I miss, I'll get the kill. Then he clicks Sludge Wave. Okay, so at this point, I'm thinking, whoa, fair enough. He outsped me because he's also Scarf. So I figure, okay, free switch into Robocop here. Gastrodon doesn't want to come in. You know, it's hard to say what I think would come in here, but I know he's going to switch out. Maybe the Kartana would come in, but that doesn't want to take a Flash Cannon just because it's so weak specially. So I figure, okay, it's got to be Scarfed. But then, oh, I find out, oh no, that's not Scarfed. My Togekiss set was just so poorly built that I couldn't outspeed the one thing that I was trying to set it to outspeed. So that was a big error in my building, and that's completely on me. So the Fire Blast, +1 Fire Blast, that was a big chunk. I am able to get the knockout here with Flash Cannon, but the damage has been done. Pheromosa can come in and, take care of me from here. The U-turn, or no, excuse me, the drill run. Next comes the U-turn, which does a very solid chunk. And he just sacks off Gardevoir here. Good play on his end guard. You know, was not doing anything to my fully healthy Arceus at this point. So now if you can tell, I'm down to 15, and there are rocks on the field. So I pretty much have to save this thing to try to 1v1 the Gastrodon, because it's not going to outspeed either of these two threats. So my hope is I can just save it, and then we can dance around with these three until it's Mega Venusaur versus Gastrodon. Now the Kartana comes in on the U-turn, and he Sacred Swords, which, again, super effective against Robocop, super effective against Arceus Steel, and my Lovina only has 2% left, so looking like it's going to be a pretty clean sweep from here. Now I don't think, looking at the calcs, the Scarf Adamant doesn't kill me, so we are going to see a crit come in here, which is a bummer, but the only reason that that's a bummer is the 10% chance to freeze, because I knew, looking at my stats, that I could not one-hit kill a no-bulk Kartana, even with the neutrally hitting Ice Beam, which was a bummer, but, that's on me. So then my team comes in and just kind of gets taken out by Kartana. A very classic Scarf Kartana sweep. This is where having the Togekiss would be great, because obviously the quad resistance to Sacred Sword, but I squandered that. But yeah, so that's a 3-0 loss for us. Really, really great game to Jamezy, I would say. Played super defensive and really just got a bunch of free intel on my sets without me getting any damage off on him. So that was, not my best played game, not my best time prepping, but lots of credit to Jamezy. He really just outplayed me in this one, and there's not that much more to it. So next I will bring you week 3. So be looking out for that, and until then, have a good one.